Luna, we must discuss Morgana. Morgana, what about her? It appears that you don't hold her in high regard. What topic are you discussing? You are well aware of what I mean. Since she did not complete her high school education, do you think less of her? No, I don't. That is untrue. Luna, I am familiar with you. Something is wrong with the way you treat her and speak to her, and it's not acceptable. My family is limited to Morgana. She has supported me through everything since our parents went away many years ago. I don't think we can get married. Can't treat her with respect. You can't be serious, Liam. Neither Morgana nor I intended to upset you. Simply said, I believe that education is crucial. I am aware of the value of education, but Morgana has had many difficulties in her life. She has had to put in a lot of effort simply to get by because of her mental health problems. However, she remains one of the most wise and kind individuals I've ever met, and I refuse to tolerate anyone treating her poorly. Okay, Liam, it's not really that big of an issue. Could you please simply unwind? Luna, I want you to consider this carefully. It means a lot to me. Are you following? My name is Morgana, and I'm a budding romance novelist. Writing has always been my passion, and I'm thankful that I can support myself by doing what I love. But things were extremely different for me a few years ago. My parents died in a horrible accident when I was in high school. My entire world had been flipped upside down, and I was in complete shock. I was unable to go on to school. I struggled with depression and deteriorating mental health for a very long period. It was difficult for me to appreciate anything at all, therefore I was unable to even write as much as I wanted to. However, despite everything being dismal, I was happy about Liam, my older brother. 8 years my senior, Liam took up the role of caretaker for me following the passing of our parents. He assumed parental duties over me, and I will always be appreciative of all that he has done for me. We had always been really close, as if we were each other's family. For me, Liam was not simply my brother, he was also my buddy and guardian. He would constantly put my needs and happiness ahead of his own in order to ensure that I was secure and content. We experienced our fair share of hardships as children. Due to our limited finances, Liam was forced to work many jobs in order to make ends meet. As I grew older, I became more aware of the sacrifices Liam had made on my behalf. I knew I would never be able to repay him for everything he had done for me since he had placed his own goals and aspirations on wait in order to take care of me. Fortunately, he went on to become a very prosperous marketer. He has also been a huge supporter of my desire to create fiction. I eventually resumed writing and enrolled in classes to expand my knowledge. I made a self-promising to myself that one day I would make him proud and earn enough money so he could follow his goals as well. However, Liam's desire was more straightforward than I had anticipated. He just wanted to be a father and a spouse. My brother began considering starting a family of his own as he grew older, and his profession became somewhat more secure. I was happy for him and encouraged him to keep looking for the right woman. I was aware that he was deserving of love and happiness. Liam took me out to dinner one day, along with Luna, a lady he found on a dating app. At that time, they had been dating for a long and had even discussed getting married. Liam appeared to have found someone wonderful, and I realized this was a serious situation. I could see they were drawn to each other right away when he first introduced her to me. She was humorous and intelligent, and she made a great living as a journalist. Luna and I were getting to know one another rather well over dinner until we got to talking about my schooling. So, Morgana, which university did you go to? Oh, I actually didn't graduate high school. Really? Yes, I had some difficult circumstances in my life at that time. Oh, I see. Well, everyone in my family values education highly and is an academic. I doubt that I could comprehend the decisions you made. Come on, Luna. In her life, Morgana has accomplished a lot. She works diligently and has surmounted several obstacles. It's all right, Liam. Not that Morgana doesn't work hard, but knowledge is power. It serves as the cornerstone of prosperity. I know that, but there are other paths to success outside schooling. I'm content with my life situation. I just find it unbelievable that you did not complete your high school education. It's only elementary schooling. Without even a high school degree, I mean, what type of work options could you possibly have? Please, Luna, let's talk about this another time. All right. Morgana, I don't mean to be impolite, but I simply cannot envision not completing high school. It's only an essential component of a person's work. Luna, that's enough. Luna paused her speech and gave me a disappointed, yet kind, grin. She attempted to clarify that occasionally she would overshare her ideas, and that she was just a very honest person. Though I told her everything was okay, I had a bad feeling that something wasn't right. I was so uncomfortable for the remainder of the evening that all I wanted to do was go home. I didn't share my feelings with my brother since I didn't want to destroy his brand new relationship. Even though it took him a very long time to locate a life partner, Liam was always there for me. A few days later, I unintentionally overheard him talking to Luna in the living room. They believed I had retired to my bed. Luna, we need to talk about Morgana. What about Morgana? I've noticed that you don't seem to respect her very much. What are you talking about? You are well aware of what I am discussing. Do you think less of her since she did not complete her high school education? No, I don't. That is untrue. Luna, I am familiar with you. Something is wrong with the way you treat her and speak to her, and it's not acceptable. My family is limited to Morgana. Our parents were dead for several years. She has supported me no matter what. I don't think we can get married if you can't respect her. Liam, you can't be serious. Neither Morgana nor I intended to insult you. Simply said, I believe that education is crucial. I understand the value of education, but Morgana has had many difficulties in her life. She has had to put in a lot of effort simply to get by because of her mental health problems. However, she continues to be among the most kind and bright individuals I know, and I will not tolerate anyone treating her disrespectfully. It's not a huge thing. Liam, please. Could you please simply unwind? I need you to treat this seriously, Luna. To me, that is really important. Do you get it? They became silent immediately after that, and I couldn't help but feel terrible for the two of them. I made an effort to be genuinely kind to Luna in the hopes that she would like and accept me more since I didn't want to be the cause of their argument. She was my brother's partner, after all, and I wanted her to be content too. As the days went by, it appeared that my efforts were having a significant impact. I got a part-time job through Luna at a beautiful publishing house owned by one of her cousins. She expressed her desire to use my expertise to help, and I happily obliged. The majority of individuals at my new employment were kind, so it was not exactly what I had anticipated. I continued getting distracted from the real writing assignments by their constant requests for coffee, but I was unable to give up. I was aware that I had to have tenacity and resolve. Fortunately, I soon had the opportunity to work with Isabella, an extremely accomplished and generous editor. She thought highly of my writing and constantly assigned me challenging but worthwhile assignments. She smiled beautifully, and every time she gave me a look, I felt a peculiar sort of peace. Even though we hadn't seen one another in a while, she seemed like family. She became one of my closest pals very soon. Regarding my brother and Luna, they promptly became engaged. They've been at a classy venue preparing their wedding, and I'm really happy for them. It appeared as though everything was going smoothly for every one of us. That is, I believed. I had to stay up pretty late one day at work since I had so many last-minute assignments. I chose to head downstairs for some late-night munchies. I didn't want to bother Luna or Liam, so I tried to remain as quiet as possible. Abruptly, a very low voice called out from the kitchen. Before I knew it, I heard my name. Oh, Morgana, that tiny child. I can assure you that she wouldn't last a year at that firm. Do you honestly believe that I would let such a dumb girl to destroy my marriage, Mom? Naturally not. Luna's voice was heard. However, the manner she described myself shocked me to no end. Despite our disputes, she had never treated me so badly and rudely before. I had truly believed that she was a kind, trustworthy, and endearing woman. I was so taken aback that I was immobile. "Mom, please don't worry. She wouldn't be liked by coworkers. I've already requested that they only assign her the silliest of chores. She has to stay there at least after the wedding, even if she wouldn't learn anything. I take care of Liam, and she loves it." I went to my room and shut the door since I was at this point unable to listen any longer. As it turned out, Luna was only attempting to win my brother over and had disliked me from the beginning. I wasn't sure whether I could tell Liam what had occurred, but I wanted to. He had a deep affection for Luna. I resigned from the publishing firm the next day, determined to succeed on my own. I no longer wanted to be dependent on Liam or Luna. Their lives were their own, and I didn't want to be an inconvenience to them. My only want was for Liam to fulfill his aspirations and find happiness. Luna's mother phoned me when she learned that I had resigned my job and begged to see me in person. I tried to remain composed so that I could continue listening to her even though I was still quite upset by the chat they had about me. Luna's mother, introducing herself as Mrs. Han, welcomed me to a very lovely city coffee shop. "Morgana, I heard you quit your job at the publishing company." "Yes, Mrs. Han. I wish to not bother anyone with my presence." "Oh my goodness, you are such a considerate woman. I specifically wanted to meet with you today for that reason." "Really?" "Yes, without a doubt. You see, every member of our family has achieved success in business, law, and journalism. Your brother doesn't look good being seen with someone like you." "You mean someone who had not graduated from high school?" "Yes, exactly. What are you trying to tell me? Your brother's wedding is the subject. Although I am sure you are eager to participate, I believe it would be best if you stayed home." "What do you mean? You know, your educational background isn't quite as extensive as that of the other visitors. I worry that you may make your brother and the family seem bad." "I apologize, but I don't get it. Being his sole family member and sister, I don't think my educational background matters. You ought to act in his best interests if you are, in fact, his family. Consider it, Morgana. He would never ask you to carry out such a task." "No, he wouldn't. But you know that it is the right thing to do." I felt my heart begin to sink at that same instant. I would never forgive myself if I embarrassed my brother on the most significant day of his life. I never wanted to be a burden to him. There were just a few days left before the wedding, so I had to decide. I was unable to tell my brother what had occurred. I didn't want him to perceive me as humiliated and ashamed of myself. I made the decision to go alone in its place. I simply had to get away. I didn't have a specific destination in mind. To ease my brother's mind, I disclosed that I was enrolled in a training program. I made an effort to put the incident behind me as I made my way through strange towns and cities, but it continued to bother me. I didn't know where to turn and felt abandoned. I stopped, and Isabella found out right when I needed it the most. It didn't matter how or when she found out. I'm not sure. I could sense the concern in her voice when she contacted me right away to see how I was doing. It brought me back to reality as if it were a lifeline. I was hesitant to tell her what had occurred at first. I was worried about coming seen as weak or condemned. Eventually, though, I was unable to hold it in. I told her everything, down to the last detail, so I could get it out of my system. Isabella patiently listened to me without interjecting or passing judgment. She also didn't provide any simple answers or fast repairs when I was finished. Rather, she only informed me that she would always be there for me. I finally thought I could manage this at that point. I made the decision to go home from my trip the next day. I was thinking of a full scheme. I would need to tell my brother about what transpired. Even though I was finding this incredibly tough, I made the decision that he should be aware of the reality. His family was Luna and me, and I believed that a family should never keep anything like that from one another. My brother was unexpectedly leaving as I opened the door to my apartment. Liam looked like he was packing for a trip since he had a backpack and a suitcase. I was taken aback. Shouldn't he be preparing for his wedding? Liam greeted me with a bare embrace and a loud "Morgana, I'm so glad you're back home," before I could even reply. "We were rather concerned for you." "I'm happy to be home too, Liam. I apologize for bothering you when Luna." "Thank God you're here, Morgana. We were just about to board an aircraft to fly over and pick you up." "Isabella, what are you doing here?" When Isabella emerged from the kitchen with her tiny luggage, I was taken aback. Rather than Luna, it felt like she was the one who was concerned about me. "How do you suppose I'm acting?" I felt compelled to inform Liam about the unpleasant family. "Wait, you told him what happened." "I'm really sorry, Liam. I was unable to inform you sooner." "It's all right. I understand. You were in a difficult circumstance. But I should be the one to apologize. It's something I could never have anticipated. I'll give you two some room now that you're both safe and at home, okay?" Isabella smiled reassuringly at Liam and me and dragged her bag out the door. She was really appreciated by me. When I was unable to even look out for myself, she was watching out for me. I eventually learned what had transpired in the course of one hectic day when I sat down to speak with Liam. It came out that my brother had called off their engagement because, following what had transpired, he was no longer able to trust Luna. Seeing him go through that was sad, but I knew it was for the best. All I wanted was to have supported him more. A few months later, I began writing and traveling. I reasoned that since traveling to a new location had benefited me so much, it would undoubtedly motivate my writing as well. I began writing a romance novel with the intention of educating young girls about wholesome and sincere relationships. I put my all into it since it was a subject that was dear to my heart. I finally succeeded in getting my book published after months of arduous struggle. A few years have passed since that occurrence, and I have 4 best-selling romance novels. I'm now working on the 5th. You guessed it, my brother is currently dating Isabella. Every time I go back from one of my travels, the 3 of us hang out, and they never fail to make me laugh. I'm overjoyed with how well everything worked out and am looking forward to what lies ahead for us.